What's up, everybody? Welcome to On the Deck here inside the KPFA Performance Studios. I know that's kind of funky. We're inside. We say we're on the deck, but it's, we think of it in our mind. What's up? I'm mikO Tolliver. I'm your host. Antonio is not here today. He's on vacation. Can you believe that? But it's okay. You laugh. How dare the boss take a vacation?
I hope he's having a good time.
He's having a good time.
He works hard.
He does deserve it. But it's okay because I'm here with Liam O'Donoghue.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, he is the host of East Bay Yesterday.
That's correct.
Yeah, that's a really good show. You know, the first time I actually saw you, it wasn't from listening to your show. I actually went to one of your speaking events.
Okay.
And it was a few years ago. It was really good.
Was it the one about Berkeley history, maybe? Bygone Berkeley?
Yeah, it was about, it was Bygone Berkeley. It was something like that. It was really cool. And then I was like, oh, okay, this is an interesting show, so I got to check it out.
Thanks a lot for coming out to that.
Yeah, Liam's here to hang out with us today. He's going to give us updates. We're going to talk about an event that he has coming up. So let's get through quick announcements. Just a reminder, this upcoming Monday, Memorial Day, it's a holiday. The station is closed. Don't come here. Stay home. Are you going to do something for Memorial Day?
I feel like I'll be grilling.
Yeah, right? Because it's summertime,
If it's nice weather, you got to be outside throwing something on the grill, meat, veggies, whatever, whatever is your preference. But you got to be outside hanging out with friends, maybe having some cold beverages.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the way to do Memorial Day.
Because it's the official start of summer.
Exactly.
Yeah, I need to find something. I think they said this weekend it's going to be kind of overcast, but I think it's just like Saturday, Sunday.
Okay.
And so then I'm hoping Monday
there you go.
When we're not going to be here at the station because it's closed, folks, you're going to be grilling.
Exactly.
Yeah, I would love to actually go kind of like maybe walk on some water, get some like a hike by a beach or something like that.
That sounds like a really good plan. There's a lot of good options around here in the Bay. Plenty of good trails.
Oh my goodness, I love it. But a grill, actually, now I'm thinking about it. I'm like trying to think of like, ooh, what veggies could I put on?
And you can do both. You do the hike in the morning, work up appetite, and then the food tastes even better in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Right?
There you go. There you go.
So you earned it.
We earned it. All right, so we got Memorial Day. Let's get through our other announcements here. It is still the 75th anniversary. Happy birthday, KPFA.
Happy birthday.
It's all year, and we had a really great event for Amy Goodman. Super, super fun. We loved it. We loved it so much that I think everybody around the station, me, Antonio, all the interns were like, we got to do more events. So we do have another one coming up. It is Rebel Airwaves, and it's going to be with Liam O'Donoghue. And actually, he's here today because he's going to talk about it. So tell us about what's going to happen on June 3rd.
Well, I'll tell you a little bit about it, but I'm telling you, for this show, there's going to be a lot of surprises. And I don't want to give away any of the surprises because I've been working on doing some things because KPFA has been around, like you said, for 75 years, roughly 600,000 hours, I calculated. Wow. So obviously we're not going to be able to cover every single thing that's ever happened on KPFA because there's been hundreds of shows, thousands of guests, so much history. But I've been trying to dig through the archives, and because the show is on stage at the Shotgun Players Theater over next to Ashby Bart there, people are going to be able to see what I'm talking about. So, with a radio show, you play clips, you have a little discussion, but for this show, there's going to be props, there's going to be special guests, and a lot of visual excitement. So I've been digging through the archives, looking for old photos, posters, things that hopefully people haven't seen before, and covering some of the hidden gems from KPFA history.
Okay, so I do want to tell you, we've been promoting this on social media and putting this stuff out, and we have actually gotten a consistent question is like, is there going to be a little meet and greet time for people to meet you and hang out?
Oh, I'm always down to meet and greet. Yeah, I mean, I feel like this isn't, some elite media perch here at KPFA. KPFA, we are by the people for the people, right? Yeah. So, I mean, I'm in the streets. I'm down to meet and greet.
He's in the streets. He's for the streets right now.
Exactly. I am. So yeah, I'll hang out with people before the show, after the show. Usually, there's a fun bar around the corner that I like to go to after the shows. Some of you have probably been to a couple of the shows I've done at Shotgun Players before with KPFA, and usually there's like a little impromptu, unofficial after party at a certain bar around the corner, which I will let people know the day of where that location is.
Oh, the day of, okay. You do know it's a Monday night this is happening. It's a school night. We're going to be hanging out. All the interns are here watching in the background. Just you guys, it's not mandatory, but
the show will be over. But let's see. It starts at 7. Should be out of there. We should be out of there by 8:30. There's time for a drink or two.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And I believe that the tickets are. How much are the tickets here? I think it's
$100.
Okay, that's the donation level. You can go onto the KPFA website, so kpfa.org/donate. That's the donation level, $100.
And I just want to say, I know that's, a lot of money for some people.
Yeah.
$100 is more than you might pay for a normal night out on the town. So I'm really trying to give people their money's worth. I've been working on the show for months.
Yeah.
Really, really digging into the history, and I hope, people are going to think that they got their money's worth that night. I'm really trying to make it special.
I agree. I'm just like I said, the first time I ever saw you was at one of your speaking engagements. It was good. I actually totally wanted. I think someone invited me randomly. I had nothing to do that night, and so I was like, sure, whatever. And I was there.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I was there in the background, but I really started to get into it. You really had a lot of old photos, and I do think at one point I was kind of thinking like, where does he find this stuff? Like, where do you kind of find your material?
Well, there are some tricks of the trade, but I do like to go to the libraries, for example, Oakland History Room, Berkeley History Room, dig through these old newspaper files, dig through these old folders. They're like dusty. I'm literally like in there like blowing dust off things, digging up photos that people haven't seen in decades. Archive.org is a great resource, and fortunately throughout KPFA's history there have been a lot of people who have been really devoted archivists. So there's a good amount of material online. Like I found the very first issue of Folio magazine, which was KPFA's monthly newsletter, where they explained what was going to be on the air, and that was from 1949.
Oh wow, look. So this technically you could say that this show existed way back in the day before us, right? It was on the air. We should go look up Folio, and
I'll send you a link.
I actually would be down for that. That would be really good. I'm going to show that to. I'm sad that Antonio wasn't here. I'm sure he would love something like that. But you do East Bay Yesterday every week. That is a weekly show. Is this just like a hobby is like this something you just kind of were always into, you did as a kid, and then you ended up having like a show about it, or just like how do you get into this?
Well, I started doing interviews when I was 15 years old, coming up in the Chicago punk scene, interviewing local musicians and things like that. So I have been interviewing people for a long time, but I've been doing East Bay Yesterday for about 7 years now.
Yeah.
And it's not my only hustle. I'm always grinding. I do the tours, speaking gigs, consulting, freelance writing, a lot of other stuff, DJing on the side as well. I've been doing that for about 20 years now. So
I'm getting that vibe from you actually now as I'm like sitting next to you. I'm like, actually, as soon as you said the punk scene, I was like, it all came together.
Okay.
I was like, I can actually see all that. That's really cool. And then East Bay
I took
yesterday,
my piercings out.
You took your piercings out. East Bay Yesterday, that's Wednesdays at
1 o'clock.
Yes, 1.
You got
okay,
it.
good. Yes,
Yeah.
and it's an hour-long show. Yeah.
It's an hour-long. It's not a new episode every week, I do have to say. We do, some reruns and things like that, but I try to keep it as fresh as possible.
Yeah. You do keep it fresh. It's good. It does actually blow me away a little bit because I'm just like, you would think, like, how do you come up with a new kind of like history episode every...
The list of topics I want to cover keeps getting longer and longer. The longer I've been doing the show, the more story ideas I have. Because people contact me all the time. Like when I said I was going to do a show about the 75th anniversary of KPFA, people emailed me like, oh, did you know this? Did you know this? I didn't know a lot of the stuff people sent me.
Wow.
So I get the audience, not only, online when I'm doing the podcast, but also these in-person events. Like you were at the Bygone Berkeley show. Mm-hmm. A lot of the time people will ask me questions and I don't know the answer, but someone else in the audience will be like, I know, I was in that co-op back in 1975 or whatever. And so it's more of like a discussion than a Q&A, and I love that.
Yeah, that's okay. So if it's East Bay Yesterday, I actually am really tempted to ask, what's one of your favorite East Bay cities to find history on?
Well, I got to go with Oakland.
Yeah.
That's where I live. That's where I live.
With it.
I've got the tattoo of Oakland's official city bird, the black-crowned night heron, on my arm right here.
Oh.
I've been living in Oakland for quite a few years now, and I love it. And can we get the camera?
Can we get close up? I was going to ask, can we get close up here?
This is the black-crowned night heron, the official bird of Oakland, California. You will see these if you ever walk around Lake Merritt, especially at night, or also if you hang out in Chinatown, because they're always eating the food that people that people throw away.
Okay.
Behind the dumpsters. But it's a very cool bird, and so I'm riding for Oakland.
Wow, yeah, you are.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm impressed there. This is great. Okay, good. Yeah, so June 3rd. Rebel Airwaves.
Yes.
We're going to celebrate. It's another event to celebrate KPFA. Happy 75th birthday. But also, you got another event, and now you've been doing this one for a while. It's the History Boat Tour.
Yes.
And it's on the bay. It's with what's the boat company we do it with?
Fish Emeryville.
Fish Emeryville. Okay, good.
So yeah, we're leaving from the Emeryville Marina, and it's just beautiful. We're right across from the Golden Gate. We go out there, take a cruise. We hit the old Berkeley Pier. It's like almost like a ruin in the bay. It's like this pier that's crumbling. We check out Treasure Island, Yerba Buena Island. And then we even stopped by a little hidden beach where I did a boat tour last week, and we saw dozens of seals out there.
Oh, nice.
So we get wildlife, we get natural history, and then we go up the port of Oakland.
Ooh.
And so we're cruising, learning about globalization, talking about ILWU, talking about port shutdowns, a lot of political history, activist history there.
Yeah.
We head up to Jacqueline Square, Brooklyn Basin, loop back out through Alameda. So we cover a lot of territory.
That's not, yeah. So you've done this one actually a few times. This is actually a really popular event here at KPFA. I want to say we've done it at least 3 times.
At least, yeah.
And I think each time we keep trying to I keep trying to finagle my way. And to be like, we're trying to be like, let's try and see
you got to stow away.
Yeah, I'm trying to stow away because I would actually like to do it. I think it would be really cool. The Port of Oakland, I love that you do that one and you cover the history. I would say for me, my most memorable thing about the Port of Oakland is I did actually participate in, I think, one of those Occupy marches where they did.
Oh, during the general strike.
Yeah, when they did it. Yeah, the general strike. That was a really cool day because I remember
November 3rd,
2011. Yeah,
Tons
walking
of
all
people.
the way over there. I did feel bad for all the people who were like, I think they worked there, and so they were just in their cars sitting, just like, all right, when's it gonna be over? I guess we're all on strike. But that was a big day.
Oh, huge. Yeah, I think that was the most people I've ever seen out, marching, protesting together in one day in Oakland.
Definitely.
So it was astonishing.
And I think you show the cranes too. We have a crane in the pictures, which is the big the claim to history is it's the Star Wars crane. Like that's how they. You know the story, right?
I talk about that story on the tour, so I won't give it away for free now. But you got to come on the tour if you want to hear that one.
So the next one is the next one is going to be Sunday, May 26th. That's this upcoming Sunday.
That's this Sunday. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So we wanted to make sure to put this out there so that people would know about it. You can go online, kpfa.org/donate, and so you can get tickets there. Hurry up and get them because they sell out. Like I think they sold out.
They've always sold out in the past, so we're hoping this one will as well. And you'll get some interesting perspectives on the Bay. Like everyone knows the iconic view of the Bay Bridge, but the view from directly underneath it is just as incredible. But most people never get to see that.
Okay,
so,
all right, that's great. It's so dope. We've got Liam here in the studio, so we got a few more announcements to go through. You want to help me out since Antonio's not here?
Am I Antonio today?
No, you can be you.
Okay, thank you.
And I'm gonna put nobody can be Antonio. We miss him so much. Raise, wanna raise. All right. No. Okay, our next event here is actually we have a film screening. It's going to be hosted by Jesse Strauss, who is, hold on, let's not go too fast here. It's hosted by Jesse Strauss, who is one of the producers of Law and Disorder, and also hosted with Nora Barrows Friedman, who is a writer and editor at the Electronic Intifada. It's going to be on Thursday, May 30th. So that's next week. It's going to be at the new Parkway Theater. It's in Oakland, and it is at 6:30. So they are inviting you to come and join KPFA for a special in-person screening of the film Israelism, a 2023 American documentary. When 2 young American Jews raised to unconditionally love Israel witness the brutal way Israel treats Palestinians, their lives take sharp left turns. They join a movement of young American Jews battling the old guard to redefine Judaism's relationship with Israel, revealing a deepening generational divide over modern Jewish identity. So again, this is going to be hosted by one of the producers of Law and Disorder. You guys know Law and Disorder. That's one of our big shows here. And it's going to be with Jesse Strauss. He's the producer, and also Nora Barrows Friedman. Make sure I got that right. So come on out to the new Parkway. Get your tickets now. Again, I think you can log on to kpfa.org. Look in our events section, and everything that we're talking about here, you can find it. So
I can give you a little East Bay history
tidbit
related to that announcement.
Gimme.
Jesse Strauss, who's going to be hosting that event.
Okay.
Many years ago, he used to be in a Mac Dre cover band. He played bass.
Really?
Oh yeah, I saw them once. They were awesome.
Yeah. I'm guessing one of the songs that they covered was Thiz Dance.
I believe it was.
Thiz Dance. Can you do the Thizzle Dance? Oh my goodness, you said that? Liam is totally okay. There we go. So shout out to Jesse Strauss here. I'm going to tell him that. Exactly. I'm telling him that you gave us the history there.
We're throwing up our tees for the Thizzle Dance.
Yeah. Did you go to one of those shows?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I think it was like a showcase show. I want to say it was at the Independent in San Francisco.
Okay.
Yeah. Jesse is an amazing musician.
Great. That's amazing. Okay. We love her. I'm super excited. Everybody come to this event. I know this is a subject that's dear to Jesse's heart, so he definitely wants some support for it. So come on out. Yeah. All right, what else we got next year on our announcement? We have a ton of events. Coming up. We got another one. Okay, this one we've been working on. We got to start advertising for it now. First Fridays. KPFA regularly for First Friday now is going to be at a place called Donkey and Goat. It's a block party that we're throwing. This next one coming up is, I think, our first official one. It's June 7th. DJ Mike Biggs is going to be there. This is his pet project. He's really hosting this, and we're going to get him to come on the deck to talk about it, because we've actually, that DJ Mike Biggs is one of our kind of like season regulars who comes in to visit us. It's great. This has actually been really, really great, Liam. As we've been doing this, we've been really inviting more KPFA hosts and producers to come in and participate, use more of the live video streaming. So this is something that's dear to Mike Biggs. I know that he's been working on it for a while. He says this also is going to be us there. DJ Hinrock of City Cat Radio, and I think he's going to try to have like new DJs kind of every week or every month. So
Very
it's
cool.
kind of mixing up. So it's going to be KPFA's official monthly thing. Again, we did that Amy Goodman event. It went over so well. Everybody was just like, wow. I think Brian Edwards-Teekert is the host of Upfront. He started out introducing Amy and even said, this is the first time a bunch of us, all the KPFA kind of community, has been in person since COVID.
Wow.
So we're really trying to get back to it. So it is actually really great that we have so many events to announce.
Yeah, and that event, I want to go check it out, because also it's over at 5th and Gilman at Donkey and Goat, and I think they just finished doing the pedestrian bridge.
Oh, yeah?
Over 80 over there, so you can check out the event, and then if you're a bicyclist, for example, you can ride over that bridge and then ride along the Bay Trail on the way home if you live down in Oakland like I do.
Yeah, I was just about to say, do you have a history tidbit about this area over there that you can give us?
Well, I mean, it's a block away from the famous punk club.
There you go.
Gilman.
Is it the Gilman Punk Club? Is that what the name of it?
926.
926,
Yeah.
okay.
924, I'm sorry.
924, oh,
Yes.
924.
Thank you. I appreciate the correction. That's why I was like hesitant at first, because I grew up going to punk shows in Chicago.
Okay.
And so Gilman was not like my hometown punk club.
okay.
I didn't come out here until I was like 22, 23.
Wow.
And anyway, shout out to Gilman. I did a whole episode about Gilman history where I interviewed some of the people who started it, and I have nothing but love for Gilman and the whole East Bay punk scene. I mean, Maximum Rock and Roll, the famous punk, Bible, which was had a lot of shows at Gilman back in the day. They started as a KPFA radio show back in like 1978, 79, I want to say.
Yeah.
And it's funny, I was looking through, I mentioned those old Folio magazines. They used to print letters to the editor, letters to the KPFA producers, a lot of letters complaining about Maximum Rock and Roll, because they're like, what is this punk music? Play operas, play classical
opera.
music.
That's funny. What's this punk music? It's all loud.
So,
Where's the violins?
but KPFA, it's good to mix everything up. That's what I love about the station.
They do that.
You get Latin music, you get classical, you get the Dead. Yeah,
You
exactly.
get, like,
you get it all.
You get all kinds of stuff.
We'll see what Mike Biggs is spinning at this event, right?
Oh yeah, he's gonna be there with DJ Hinrock. So Hinrock is the new DJ of City Cat Radio. I think it's Wednesdays at like it starts at like midnight. I think I'd have to check on that, but it's a new show.
Okay.
Yeah, DJ Hinrock actually came in, sat down with us, and kind of just chat up with us about what a show. He has some cool, like, we play some samples for us. I'm like, okay, this is nice. I kind of like. I feel like it's like hip hop that you can sip with wine, or like maybe like R&B that you can just chill next to the fire. I don't know.
I like that.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
Yeah, that was
Definitely.
great. Okay, one more event to tell you about. Urban Foraging, the Unnatural History of Golden Gate Park. This is an in-person event. It's to advertise a book here. It's going to be on June 29th. So we got a ways to go for this. So you're going to hear about it for a while. Again, all kinds of things happening here at KPFA this 75th year. Now this is going to it's going to be at the Golden Gate Park in San Francisco, and we're going to join Maria Finn, who is author of the recently published cookbook Forage, Gather, Feast. I actually kind of like that. And her truffle dog that you can see there on the picture, Flora Jane, for a stroll on Saturday, June 29th. And it's going to be 12 a.m. to noon in the Golden Gate Park in San Francisco. And a copy of the book will be sent to all who sign up for the event. Ooh.
That sounds awesome.
That does actually, I almost feel like we're turning into Oprah now. You get a book,
Yeah.
and you get a book, and you get a book, right?
Well, I was wondering if the dog was going to be there.
Yeah,
because the dog was in the photo. Apparently, the dog will be there. And, that's a really cool event, because I feel like a lot of people who are into foraging are very reluctant to share their spots, because they don't want people getting there before them and picking the mushrooms or picking the goodies before they get there. So to have someone who's, not gatekeeping where the good stuff is, where you can forage the tasty treats.
I didn't think about that at all, but you're right. I guess it's when you kind of you like to fish, and you're like, this is my spot. Don't tell anybody, because I'll get there and they'll take all the fish.
Yeah, I went foraging a couple months ago up on the Mendocino coast for sea urchin.
Yeah.
And when we got there was other people foraging. We're like, ooh, I wonder if they're gonna get all the urchin, but we still got plenty. There's plenty of urchin to go around, and they're not an invasive species, but they're like a hazardous species right now because they're eating all the kelp forest. So you don't have to feel guilty about.
I was gonna say you kind of help the situation, like
exactly. You're benefiting the ecosystem.
Yeah, there you go.
Exactly.
Okay, good. All right, so again, everybody come sign up for that to go to kpfa.org/donate. If you go to kpfa.org/events, you can find out about everything we're talking here. Everything. Liam's event, urban foraging, the Israel film screening, everything. But now we got something really good. We got a new podcast. And because we have the amazing Liam O'Donoghue today, we're going to let you know our new podcast on the best of KPFA podcasts is East Bay Yesterday, Long Lost Oakland. Do you want to tell us real quick something about this episode?
Absolutely. So this episode is kind of for the nature lovers out there. Mm-hmm. I do a lot of episodes about, political history or cultural history, music, arts, etc. But the natural history of this place is so interesting too. And before colonization, before the Europeans arrived in the 1700s, this place where we live was so different. Mm-hmm. If you looked up in the East Bay Hills, you would have seen redwood trees as tall as the Tribune Tower. Wow. 300 feet tall. That's huge. Really tall. Yeah. Massive. And so this episode gets into the history of those trees and what happened to them, and also grizzly bears. Some of the biggest grizzly bears ever in the history of humanity were located around here because it never got snowy, because this is a very temperate, moderate climate. Yeah. They didn't have to hibernate. Yeah. So they could eat year-round. So they were getting, fish from the bay. It was like an all-you-can-eat buffet. If a whale washed up, hey, maybe whales on the menu.
There we go. You're right, because we do have whales wash up, it's been happening more often now. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, they weren't just eating meat. They were omnivorous. So there was a lot of tasty things. So we get into grizzly bear history in this episode, redwood history, and then at the end of this episode, we tacked on a little clip of an interview that I did with one of my favorite local authors, Oakland-based Jenny Odell, mm-hmm. who wrote several incredible books that are about connecting with nature and thinking about concentration. There's so many distractions these days. How do we focus our attention? So most famously, she came out with a great book a couple years ago called How to Do Nothing. And
how do you do that?
Incredible title. It's more difficult than it sounds.
I believe you. I believe you.
So yeah, that episode, I believe, or that interview was recorded at a live KPFA event from a little while ago.
Okay, well, this is great, and thank you for this addition to the KPFA Best of Podcasts, because wherever you guys get your podcasts, it's a really great collection of podcasts from all highlighting so many of the different shows that we have here, and it's great. It's a mix. We have episodes from Hard Knock Radio, Law and Disorder. Up front, we do the monthly On the Deck, and now we also got East Bay Yesterday, and that's just a sample, and it is growing because now we release so many more episodes. So thank you for giving that to highlight for us.
Well, thank you for putting me on.
Yeah. Wherever you guys get your podcast. All right. Now I think we've reached a special time, our special ceremony here on the deck. I'm going to ask you, Liam, what time is it?
I believe, mikO, it is donor highlight time.
Yes, it is. It's time for the donor highlight.
Yes, we could not be doing this if it wasn't for you.
Yeah, so again, I want you to go ahead and call out the person that we are highlighting, the donor we are highlighting here right now.
We got to give a special, extra grateful KPFA shout out to Barbara from Sunnyvale. Barbara, thank you. We literally would not be here on this couch talking about cool stuff if it wasn't for people like you. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Barbara, and thank you to so many of our listeners. Again, KPFA is 100% listener supported. And it's been that way for the entire 75 years. So we don't take corporate sponsors, we don't do ads, we don't do commercials.
That's right. The founder of KPFA, Lewis Hill, famously said that advertising is a form of censorship.
Is it?
Right? Because you got to, tone down what you're saying or limit what you're saying based on what those big corporations, are okay with hearing. So if we don't have to bow down to the corporate donors, the corporate sponsors, and it's all people powered, then I think there's a lot more freedom to say what we want.
Okay, I never thought of it that way. That's actually a pretty interesting perspective. I'm gonna have to check into that. Okay, all right. So now I'm gonna tell everybody, remind everyone, here we are at the end of the show, to follow us on social media. Like our post, comment on our post, share our post, engage with us, follow our accounts. And you can find us on social media, Facebook at KPFA 94.1, and around everywhere else. That's YouTube, Twitter, also now known as X, right? Instagram. We're on Threads now too, and also TikTok at KPFA Radio. That's how you get involved with us. You get in touch with us, send us DMs. Again, help us stimulate that algorithm. And then we also want to say thank you to all the people who helped us put on our On the Deck show here today, starting with Liam for coming and being our guest. Can we get an applause? Jess, can we get a round of applause?
Thank you.
That's great. I asked for the round of applause. All the interns started clapping. I love that too. Thank you. Yes. Okay.
Amazing.
But now I'm going to thank all the interns here and everybody who helps put this on. Peter Stickney. We got Jess Hutchison, Clayton Peterson, Kaika Stuffson. We've got EA. We have got Miss Van Volkenberg, Roxy here, Roxy elsewhere. You guys can see her show also online that we do translate it. We've got Mesty, and then we have Paul Garber. Mesty, did I forget to say your last name? Mesty Thomas. We got a gang here. Oh, and then Tim too, who he was sick today, but we always shout out our people because we love them.
Can I just mention one more thing?
Yeah.
I know that I've gotten a couple messages over the last few weeks from people that were a little confused about how to get tickets to the boat tour or the show at Shotgun Players Theater. So if anyone is trying to find tickets to the events we were talking about earlier, you go to the KPFA support page on the website. You just hit the donate link, and then when you see all the different gifts that you can get, click on that little button that says MISC. Yeah. It's all my stuff's under the miscellaneous. I'm under the miscellaneous category, I guess. I don't fit in with the other gifts.
That's okay. You're your own unique gift.
You put in that donation, you click the gift you want, and then hopefully I'll be seeing you either on the tour or at Shotgun Players Theater.
Okay, I think we'll make sure to add like a sample of that when we go back and create a little promo for this that we added on.
Sounds good.
Yeah. All right. Thank you everybody for tuning in to On the Deck, and with that, I want to say goodbye. We now wave like we are
like the Queen of England.
Yes, like that. Bye everybody. We can't wait for Antonio to come back, but glad we had Liam here to help us have fun.
Thank you so much.
Bye everyone.
Bye everybody. Ha